palms flat on that tabletop. If you lift those palms off that turtle shell tabletop, Mr. Pooch is gonna let loose with both barrels of that sawed off.
Hello and welcome back to Fact Me Up channel. In today's video, we're diving deep into the world of Django Unchained, a Quentin Tarantino's masterpiece. With a total of 17 fascinating facts, we'll unveil the behind-the-scenes stories, remarkable performances, and the impact of this cinematic gem. So grab your popcorn and prepare to be enthralled by the epic journey that is Django Unchained. When Candie smashes his hand on the dinner table, DiCaprio accidentally crushed a small stemmed glass with his palm and did really begin to bleed. He ignored it, stayed in character, and continued with the scene. Quentin Tarantino was so impressed that he used this take in the final print, and when he called cut, the room erupted in a standing ovation. DiCaprio's hand was bandaged, and he suggested the idea of smearing blood onto the face of Kerry Washington. Tarantino and Washington both liked this, so Tarantino got some fake blood, and they added the scene to the movie. Christoph Waltz concluded his 2013 Oscar acceptance speech for his role of Dr. Schultz by saying,
"Sorry, couldn't resist."
It was a reference to his character's final line on screen.
I'm sorry. I couldn't resist.
But one must not forget the most important thing in the fight game, and that is a that can win fights.
During the filming of one of the dinner scenes, Leonardo DiCaprio had to stop the scene because he was having a difficult time using so many racial slurs. Samuel L. Jackson then pulled him aside and told him, "Mother, this is just another Tuesday for us. Get it together." This helped DiCaprio complete his scene. Christoph Waltz turned down the role of Dr. King Schultz when first given the script, since he felt that it was too tailored to his persona. Quentin Tarantino insisted and would not take no for an answer.
I insist. If you insist.
Waltz did agree under one condition: his character had to be pure, and never once act in a negative or evil manner. Tarantino sent him a handwritten letter that simply said, "Of course, mine Herr." Waltz sent a telegram back, "Mine Herr, of course." Leonardo DiCaprio, whose role marked the first time he played a villain since The Man in the Iron Mask, was uncomfortable with how horrible and explicitly racist his character was. However, Quentin Tarantino convinced him to be as menacing as possible, saying that if he didn't take it all the way, people would hold it against him forever. After an accident in training where Christoph Waltz was thrown off his horse and broke his pelvis, Jamie Foxx gave him a gift to make him feel better about riding a horse, a saddle with a seatbelt. Waltz's injury necessitated that Dr. King Schultz's early scenes on horseback be accommodated by a horse-drawn wagon instead. The film was shot in 130 days, marking it the longest shooting schedule in Tarantino's career. Furthermore, with a staggering budget of $100 million, it is the most expensive project Tarantino has ever helmed. Quentin Tarantino revealed at Comic-Con that Django and Broomhilda are meant to be the great-great-great-grandparents of the character John Shaft from the Shaft films. An overt reference to this connection can be found in Washington's character's full name, Broomhilda von Shaft. The main horse Jamie Foxx rides in the film was his pet horse from real life, Cheetah. The casting came about because Foxx was practicing his horse riding for the film with Cheetah, and the two were such a natural pair that it seemed only logical to put his horse in the movie. Foxx got the horse for his birthday about 4 years before he was cast as Django. Leonardo DiCaprio was originally the first choice for the role of antagonist Colonel Hans Landa in Quentin Tarantino's Inglourious Basterds. However, Tarantino decided that a German-speaking actor should portray the character, and the part went to Christoph Waltz. In an interesting turn of events, DiCaprio found his place in this film as the antagonist, Candie. After working on this film, composer Ennio Morricone said he would probably never again collaborate with Quentin Tarantino, since he didn't like the way he places music in his films without coherence and never gives enough time. However, Morricone and Tarantino collaborated again on The Hateful Eight in 2015, which earned Morricone his first Academy Award. In an interview, Quentin Tarantino stated that originally, the Mandingo fight scene, and the scene with the dogs, were longer and more violent. He said he felt like he was going to traumatize the audience, so he cut both scenes down.
The science of phrenology is crucial to understanding the separation of our two species.
Calvin explains that via the study of phrenology, he is able to find the 3 dimples on Ben's skull, which represent submissiveness. Phrenology was a pseudoscience that purported that one's various capacities and traits could be discerned by studying the features and physical characteristics of a human skull. This was later proven to be complete nonsense. Django Unchained takes place in 1858. Calvin Candie's speech about the skulls of slaves is based on phrenology, a pseudoscience that had been disproven by the 1840s, revealing Candie's ignorance despite his pretensions to the contrary. Quentin Tarantino has said that Calvin J. Candie, played by Leonardo DiCaprio, is the only character he has ever created whom he truly despises. While filming on location in Jackson Hole, Wyoming, Quentin Tarantino rented out a local movie theater to show samurai and western movies from his own personal collection to cast and crew. The quilt that is on the bed, onto which Broomhilda is thrown, features the distinctive design of an Underground Railroad quilt. Legend has it that these quilts held a hidden language, with the Underground Railroad pattern signaling the message, "Pack up and go." The men playing poker towards the end of the film are using severed ears from slaves as their currency.